Hello, Goldbacks. This is Mr. Cruz. We are meeting today in our virtual assembly with our administrative team. We have Ms. Rodriguez, Ms. Frederick, Ms. St. Louis, and Mr. Spellman with us, and Mr. Decker's doing the recording of this assembly. We hope that you'll see it and you'll be able to view it as many times as you need to. But today we just wanted to talk to you about a few important things as we go from December to January. We're almost halfway through the school year. So welcome, everyone. We do appreciate having all of you in our building. We do want to make sure that everyone is healthy. And part of that is, let's start with the morning arrival. When you come in, if you come in off your bus, obviously on the bus, please wear your mask. It's essential. With all the things that are going on in the world today, we want to be protected. When you're in the building, the same thing. Keep your mask on. If you need a mask break, obviously ask an adult, ask your teacher, maybe security, whatever. Also, when you get dropped off on the bus, come straight into the building. And for safety's sake, please, if you're getting dropped off, drop off at the top where the buses park. We can't have anyone crossing the parking lot. It's dark. They don't always see everyone. And although we try to be out there with flashlights and try to conduct a safe environment, it's necessary that we all participate in the safety of our school building and your own safety. There's a sidewalk that we want you to use, but please don't cross the parking lot in the dark because people are parking and buses are moving through. The other part is, if you're walking, please exercise caution. Try to go in through the top and go in. Make sure you have your ID. You need to have your ID out. Show security your ID. If you don't have an ID, you have to go to the no ID line, which are the outside stairs that lead down to Cafeteria A. And overall building safety, please don't open doors for anyone. The only way we can make sure that we are all safe is if we're all working together on this. If you have any question, like if you're coming from carpentry or construction, you already know which doors you're allowed to use. You exercise as much caution as possible. If you go straight to your class, security doesn't have to ask you for your ID or stop you, right? Make sure you have a pass in the hallway, and we'll be talking a little bit more about that as we move in this assembly, but we just wanted to make sure that you feel welcome and feel safe in our building. So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. St. Louis, and I'll be back at the end.
Hello, everyone. So for those of you who do not know who I am Ms. St. Louis. I am the part of the cohort 2019 administrator. So we just want to remind all of our Goldbacks in regards to passes and hallway expectations. So the first thing is that you are required to get to your classes on time. Not 2 minutes after the bell, not 30 seconds after the bell. Make sure you get there once the bell rings in your class, ready to start getting engaged in your class assignment. If, however, something occurred in which you cannot make it on time to your class, you have to come see your cohort administrator. So everyone by now should know who the cohort administrators are for each grade. Please go to the office, directly to the office to get a pass. And once you get that pass, the time that's written on the pass, you have just a couple of minutes to get to your class. If you get to that class for much later, then your teacher may ask you to go back to your administrator. However, we're going to avoid that, and we're all going to make the right decisions and make sure we get to our classes on time. If you have a study hall, please note that on your schedule, you have a location. It is not a free period. It is a study hall. It is a time for you to try to get some work done. But make sure you please go to that location, which either notes the cafeteria or the library as the location. We are also asking that all of our Goldbacks wear their IDs. Okay, so you see you have a nice lanyard that had been given to all of the students. You must wear your IDs around your neck. And I know one of my colleagues is going to go more further into that, but in the hallways, you should have your IDs on. Also, as we always try to remind everyone during morning announcements, walk on the right side of the hallway. Also make sure that you keep your mask up, covering up your mouth and your nose. Use your inside voices, so no one is yelling, no one is screaming, and you're walking promptly to your location. You're walking with a purpose to your location. And also, lastly, always remember to follow any and all directives, that means any directions that are given to you by security agents, teachers, admin, or any school personnel that is in the building at the time. We really need everybody to cooperate and just to make sure that we keep our school environment as safe and orderly as possible. thanks. I'm going to pass it over to Ms. Frederick.
Hi, everyone. So I am Mrs. Frederick, also part of the 2019 cohort M through Z. So we really want to review appropriate dress. We want to make sure that we understand entering this building, we are dressed appropriately. So that means not showing bare skin, no belly tops, crop tops, no ski mask, and also making sure that we're not wearing any hoods or hats. Overall, this just ensures everyone's safety. We want to make sure that we're able to say hi and identify our students. We want to see your smiles. Well, technically, under your mask, but we want to make sure that we're able to identify you. So overall, just make sure that we're following those guidelines when it comes to dressing appropriately. Also, when it comes to mask, we want to make sure that we're wearing a mask over the nose and covering the mouth. We cannot wear them on the chin. We have to make sure that we're keeping everyone safe. And that is number one. Also, just to reiterate, no ski mask. We have to wear an actual medical mask or fabric mask. And of course, if your mask tends to break throughout the day, just make sure that you're bringing extras or you have some extras on hand. You can always go to any of the cohort offices or the health office to grab an extra mask just in case.
Hey everyone, so Mr. Spellman here. I'm the senior administrator, if you didn't know that already. I'm just going to touch base on attendance and then some of the half-year courses. So to start with attendance, guys, we've been saying this since September if you're a ninth grader, and every year you've been here in this building if you're 10th, 11th, and 12th. Attendance matters. It is extremely important, and it's one of the biggest indicators of how successful you're going to be in high school, right? There's a high correlation rate of if you miss more than 10% of your classes, there's a 90% chance you're not going to graduate on time, right? So those numbers seem a little confusing. We break those down in cohort assemblies, but we're here to remind you how important attendance is. Now, I do want to say we have seen a huge improvement with all grade levels, right? The hallways are clear on time. You guys seem to be in class. You're not trying to get in the cafeterias when you're not supposed to. So please keep that going. And just remember that all events in this building, right? Prom, basketball games, baseball games in the spring, whether you want to watch the games or be on the team, go to prom, attendance is going to be checked. If you have below, I believe 85%, I'm going to say 90% just to be safe, right? If you're below 90%, there's a good chance you're not going to be able to go to prom as a senior, a junior, right? So make sure we're in class on time. And like Mrs. St. Louis said, if you're late, just come to us. We'll have a conversation with you and we'll give you a pass. Don't just wander if you're late. Next is half your classes. So health, right? Senior electives, senior Englishes, our econ, our government. When you come back from winter break, there's going to be about 4 or 5 weeks left for those classes. It is so important that you get into those classes, talk to your teacher, and make sure that you're going to pass or find out what you need to do to pass, right? Because especially for seniors, if you fail any of these half-year courses, there is no guarantee that there's going to be room in your schedule to take this quarter 3 and quarter 4, or that there's going to be room in classes during the day or night school. So if you don't pass your half-year classes, there's a potential for you to not graduate. So after break, come see me, come see your counselors, but first talk to your teachers and see what you need to do to make sure you're on track to pass those classes. That's all I got for you guys. Have a wonderful break. We'll see you in the new year. And I'm going to pass it on to Ms. Rodriguez.
Hello, everyone. This is Mrs. Rodriguez, 2021 Cohort Administrator. So I'm going to touch a little bit on cafeteria expectations. The first thing that you need to know, you must, once again, have your IDs readily available so that you can scan when you enter the cafeteria. The reason why is we want to make sure that that is the period that you belong in the cafeteria. So please make sure that IDs are always out and that you're scanning. You may only enter the cafeteria during your assigned lunch period. So there's not going to be any more, I always come in here to get whatever or to hang out. We're not doing that. If it's not on your schedule to be in the cafeteria at a certain time, you do not belong there, please do not enter. Another thing, once you're inside the cafeteria, you are not allowed to leave. I know in the past you were able to get to the auditorium or the library. You're not leaving. Once you're in there, you're staying there in the cafeteria. Do not ask anybody, any adult in there, for a pass to go anywhere else. You belong in the cafeteria. That is where you remain for the period. All food and drinks must be consumed in the cafeteria. You cannot take any food out of the cafeteria ever. You have to eat it there. Another thing, once you enter the cafeteria, some of the expectations, if you are not eating, you are to go and have yourself a seat. You have to sit down. We don't want kids up going to another table. This is where, fights occur and the gossip and the chaos. We want everybody sitting. So once you enter, if you're eating, you will line up, get your lunch, and sit wherever you want to sit. But the expectation is that you remain there until the end of the period. There is no throwing food, no playing with food in the cafeteria, right? We're in high school, supposed to act like we're in high school, right? So we don't want to see any throwing or food on the floor. We do have custodians, but they should not be picking up your garbage. That's your responsibility. That if you eat something, you don't leave it on the table, you don't throw it on the floor. That's why we have the garbage cans. So please keep the cafeteria as clean as possible. And that's about it for my section. Back to you, Mr. Cruz.
Thank you. We have a great team here, and we're really honored to be able to help all of you graduate on time. And you've heard from different grade levels. In case you missed it, Ms. Simon and I are the 2020 cohort administrators. Mr. Class is along with Ms. Rodriguez in the 2021 cohort, and we may be getting another administrator at the senior cohort. So we'll update you on that. Just a couple loose ends here. We're gonna wrap it up in a second. You'll be getting some letters soon. Some of you have great attendance, and you'll be getting award letters for your exemplary attendance. Some of you are on the honor roll and the high honor roll. Those letters, if you haven't gotten them, they'll be coming out soon. We want to really celebrate your accomplishments. And high school is not easy. You've heard a little bit about the emotional part, the academic part, but look, we're all here to help you graduate on time. Young men, there's an expectation that those pants be pulled up. Ms. Frederick touched on the dress code. Guys, as trying to make you successful young men, there's certain things that have to be accomplished with a professional attitude. We talk about being college and career ready. We want to see that professional attitude. We want to hear professional talk. Let's clean up the language. But overall, we are honored to be able to celebrate with all of you moving into a new year. So for those of you, we didn't do the assembly early enough, but if you celebrate Hanukkah, we wish you that you had a great Hanukkah. Also going into Christmas, if you celebrate it, Merry Christmas. If you're celebrating Kwanzaa, joyous Kwanzaa to you. Happy New Year to everyone. When we get back, we got a lot of work to do, but we're all here to help you out. So we wish you the best, and we'll see you in the new year. Take care, Goldbacks.